All right, here we are. Today, Thursday again, Solana Smoke o'clock. So glad to be here. So today, Ross, you'll be joining me audio only. We won't have the pleasure of seeing you.
Here in spirit, if not in form. Yes,
that's the most important. So that's fantastic news. So I'm not sure if you're going to be smoking, but I will be having a, how is it called, this one? Bardo Vento. So yeah, I got these from the airports. So we'll have a try. They're new kind. And yeah, to start up today, Solana Smoke, we thought that it was important to stay up to date, clearly, and Solana Accelerate APAC happening in Hong Kong alongside the consensus took place yesterday. So it's a 9-hour stream. We won't stay online for 9 hours, that's for sure. But I thought we'll just have a look at the different different talks that took place and select a few and just watch along and see
that would sort of be a marathon cigar smoke session, wouldn't it? 9-hour cigar smoke session. You'd probably get through
I guess we'll need you need food as well, because 9 hours on sparkling water and cigar. I mean, I only know a couple of people in the world that could do that. You would have maybe Churchill, and who was it? I think Roosevelt was more cigarettes. But yeah,
I think Schwarzenegger has about 4 or 5 cigars a day. No, I think he gets through quite a few. So yeah, it's a bit of an endurance test as well. No, the 9-hour cigar stream.
Yeah, maybe for whenever we pass like 1,000 subscribers, we could think of doing something like that.
Yeah, there'll be an endurance test. Test your the subscribers' endurance.
Exactly. So let's have a quick look at the. So let me share actually this, just to see the Accelerate APAC. So who was there? So it was just a one-day event. So it's here we go. So let me share the screen so we can have a look and quickly comment on these. So it was here. All right. So focus topic was, we had payments, retail at scale, institutional finance again, next gen infra, and then the asset. So I mean, clearly we can see that payment, I guess it's still kind of, we're talking about stable coins, retail access, always Solana trying to make sure that all the basically everything that we're building on Solana is reaching the mass. Institutional finance, I mean, big topic of the year, clearly. So I'll be interesting to see what banks and asset managers are talking about. And next gen infra and assets. Okay.
And so what is this, a conference, or is it like a hackathon, or Solana Accelerate? It's a conference.
Yeah, it's a conference. So you have a couple of conferences across the kind of a Solana ecosystem. Accelerate, I feel, is more the one where institutions are kind of joining in.
Right.
The hackathons that are more really kind of hands-on. Let's build something. And then you have the one in Istanbul, which is the kind of more for the community. So and then you have your odds, different Solana conferences when you're meeting the super teams or whatnot. But this one, Accelerate is more. We had Accelerate, I think, in November in the US, and I think it was a 2-day event, and now it's more APAC, so really focusing on more the Asian market and seeing what's out there.
And of course, when we see in the Asian market, we mean the Chinese market, don't we? And that's why it's Hong Kong, no?
Exactly. You've got Hong Kong. I think there's a couple of Korean speakers. I mean, I had a quick look already. I heard Jito talking. There's Jupiter. So I thought, yeah, maybe we can start with Anthony Scaramucci to kind of go back to tokenization race. So it's a topic that it's really on everyone's mind, and so this one is called "Building New Financial Rails: How Solana Wins the Tokenization Race." So it's a 5-minute keynote from Anthony.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yes, well, that's right on topic. So yeah, that's great.
So let's jump on this one. Here we go, YouTube, and full screen for you and for me. Let's go.
Solana wins the tokenization race. Welcome, Anthony.
Yeah, they were having some issues with the microphone. Let's jump.
Talking about.
Here we are.
Sorry, guys, they're making a mic adjustment. All right, so I've got only like 5 minutes, so I thought what I would do is instead of just talking about Solana, I wanted to provide some historical context to the last 25 years of technology investing, because I think we're in a bear market, right? Everybody knows we're in a bear market, and I've lived through 9 bear markets. So
bear market, yeah. So Solana, for those of you watching in the future, Solana is down from 220 to about 80. Bitcoin is down. What are we this morning? 70K. So bear market, a bit unclear why. I mean, I guess is the usual 4-year cycle. Do you have any insider info on why this bear market, Ross?
Well, so is this official now that what I bet the bear market started in February 26th?
Anthony just said it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think before, even though there was a bit of a price crash in October, or at least autumn 24, nobody was saying it was a bear market, were they? So I think this is a line being drawn in the sand now that the bull's over.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can only say that we're not in a bear market for so long. Numbers have been down for a while. I think we have as well kind of this unclarity regarding the Clarity Act. So everything is kind of looking a bit doomed. We're I think maybe back into the builder mode. Like let's go back, keep on building, because we see activity on Solana hasn't stopped. So clearly people are still very much into the tech, but now we're a bit away from the headlines of just growing, and we're back in kind of a consolidation phase, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard it being said that a lot of the Bitcoin price was quite inflated. It didn't really match the transactions on the chain, and then it had been a bit artificially pumped up for the last few months. So even though it's a bit of a shock, it declined. I think there were a lot of people that weren't surprised. So
I guess the rise was quite quick as well, and everyone was seeing these ETF, especially for Bitcoin, as kind of the answer, and then the institution jumping on. But clearly, there's more work that needs to be done to keep a healthy growth ultimately.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, the floor is yours.
So I want to take you guys back to March of 2000. I was actually here in Hong Kong. This is 2 years after the Thai baht crisis led to the Korean won implosion. But the U.S. technology market was going crazy, and the NASDAQ at that time was at 5,400. And in about 6 weeks, it went from 5,400 to 2,200. And all of the pundits, all the journalists were calling for the end of Web 1, the end of technology, and the end of the internet. In fact, Barron's, which is a news magazine published in New York, had a picture of Jeff Bezos on the front of the cover, and they had him inside of a bomb, and the title was Amazon.bomb, the age of this internet retailer is.
So if we had Jeff Bezos on in 2000, who do you think we're seeing this year? Are we seeing Sailor, or whose picture is on the headline?
Oh, well, that's a good question, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, Sailor's sort of an easy target at the minute, isn't it? What Cathie Wood, maybe Mark.
Yeah, it's Coinbase. I mean, not so much for the down, but more for the kind of Armstrong being kind of blocking the regulation.
Yeah.
So I could see his face as well. Yeah, let's see.
It's over. And Jeff actually took it and framed it and put it in his office. And the stock went down 91% in a 6-month period of time. And I just want to take you through this for a second. If you were an Amazon investor on the IPO, and the IPO was in May of 1997, let's say you put $10,000 into Amazon. In the first 10 years, Amazon went down 9 times 50%, 2 times 80%, 1 time 91%.
Sounds like Bitcoin, no?
Yeah. Although I was just thinking, it's his analogy here is a bit of a stretch because I don't think there's any Jeff Bezos sat in that audience. No, he did have an exceptional business leader.
Yeah.
So
I guess he's more mentioning the beginning of any project, is rough, I would say. And I think, for Solana, for crypto, we're still in these early years, clearly.
yeah.
Maybe this is the analogy that he's trying to get at.
Yeah.
And if you stayed in it, if you stayed in that investment, that $10,000 is worth $28 million today. And if you look at the chart, there's a tremendous amount of volatility for the first 15 years. And then the story starts to consolidate as people start to adopt the story. And by the way, if I had given this speech 10 days ago before they announced they were making this big investment in AI, that number, the $10,000 number, would have been 41 million. So I want to start out with that because of what's going on in the industry and what I see going on in the industry. And if you can weather it and you can stay in these positions, I think you're going to be incredibly well rewarded. You're here for a reason because you know the technology, you know how fast it is, you know how cheap it is, you know how easy it is to use. And you know that the people that are my age in this industry, 40 years of experience on Wall Street, are going to be using Solana for the backbone of real-world asset tokenization. And Tom Farley and I were on stage earlier today. We were just talking about our careers. He was the president of the New York Stock Exchange. I worked at Goldman. When I started in the business, it was T plus 5. Wow. So trade date plus 5 days. And if, let's say, I was buying a stock from your account, it was coming into my account, it had to go through 7 different intermediaries, including the Depository Trust Corporation, before it landed in my account. And so, yes, I bought it at that price, but I had to wait 5 trading days, or literally a week, before it landed in my account. Today, it's T plus 1. But with this technology, it can be T plus a minute, T plus 5 minutes, T plus an hour. And I think people need to take a step back and look at the utility of the technology and recognize that if you can see through the FUD and see through the doubters, this is going to be a phenomenal asset for you and your family over the next 25 years. Okay, that's my speech, guys. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, not so much what we were expecting.
Well, I mean, I would say he's playing to the gallery a bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he is, right? They paid him a lot of money to come to that. He has to say that. The question here is that right that everybody's going to be using Solana?
I mean,
interesting that you mentioned the DTCC again as well. That came up. Thought that was interesting. Yeah.
The one that Canton is building on.
Yeah. Which for those that don't know is the company that owns all the securities issued in America and it's got $99 trillion worth of assets and wants to put them all on chain.
Yeah, on chain. They're using Canton to kind of kickstart the product, but they even them mention, like multi-chain will be the answer. I think what he's really touching upon is again the fact that Solana is the most used chain, is the one where most activity is, and even if the price is going down, people keep on building, keep on pushing assets on chain, and really volume of trading hasn't slowed down. So the core kind of vision of Solana being the internet capital. Clearly is still full on. So
Well, I mean, for the reasons he did say, right? It's cheapest, it's the quickest, it's the easiest, that sort of thing, right? Those real fundamentals of money that money likes, Solana has. So I think that was he did a good summary there of the why do people like Solana. So that's true. So yeah, anyway, yeah, not a good speech, but I think he was he had to say that, didn't he?
yeah.
Who is he, by the way? Wasn't it? Well, I know he's an investment guy, but wasn't he like a judge or something at some point as well? And then he went back into investing, and then he's sort of all over the crypto place, no?
He's a here and broadcaster. So early life, investment banking. Did a bit of political. He supported Hillary and Barack Obama.
Maybe he was sorry, not a judge. He was a politician for a bit.
Yeah.
And then he left politics. I think that's what it was, wasn't it? And he's all like a crypto guy now.
Assistant to the president and director of the White House of Public Liaison and Intergovernmental Affairs.
Yeah. Well, okay, whatever that means. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
So this is basically where he's been. Wrote a couple of books. But yeah, really mainly on the kind of finance side.
And now he's doing the conference scene.
Yeah. I mean, he's really. Let's see what's his really.
He probably got what 20 grand for that 5-minute speech, no?
Yeah, he actually
Plus
wrote.
Expenses.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wrote the book Solana Rising. So again.
Right. So he's a massive Solana shill.
Yes. He clearly is full on Solana.
Solana Maxi.
Yeah. From the different books and then clearly us seeing him there. I mean, he was as well at the last Accelerate event. So clearly he's their go-to man for making sure that the people are still watching the different conferences. Yeah. All right, what else can we touch about? Solana DeFi, that's a panel. Solflare is always fun to watch. Last time we had the announcement about their wallet. I'm curious what they're going to be talking about this time. So it's at 350. Yeah, 350. So 2 hours 20 later. Okay, let's have a look. This is just after that panel. Who is talking now?
Could sort of wake people up a bit and have some interesting conversation on this panel. I'm Joseph Chi, Executive Chairman of Solana Company, with this ticker HSDT, which I built together with Cosmo here. And with me on the right-hand side, just want to do a quick intro so we don't waste time doing personal intro. James is the I'm not sure is or was the CEO or co-founder of Jambo, and strategic advisor to Sharps Technology, ticker STSS, a NASDAQ-listed Solana DAT launched in August last year. James versus me and Cosmo, he's a true Solana native entrepreneur. Unlike many of us who transitioned from TradFi, James grew up within this ecosystem and being a core member of the super team for Solana. James has an unparalleled bond with the community. I think most of you here probably know him personally. At STSS, he has pioneered a model where a public company doesn't just have to hold asset, right? It actively supports ecosystem to partnership with protocols like Bonk and Jupiter.
So this one is actually not the Solflare one. It's actually talking about the digital asset treasury company, so the DATs. I thought that could be actually an interesting one. So it's kind of taking a bit the model of Sailor that he's doing for Bitcoin, but doing it with Solana. So let's see if these three gents have something interesting to share.
For example, and I mean effectively integrating the Web3 culture with public company capital. Welcome, James.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I guess Cosmo, my partner in crime, is a GP, a general partner at Pantera Capital. Is one of Pantera. Obviously, a lot of us know one of the longest standing, one of the largest crypto asset manager in the US, and obviously a big fan, a big supporter, big holder of Solana. He's also a director sitting on HSDT, and we call him a co-founder of Solana Company. I guess he doesn't need a lot of introduction in the US, but here maybe I owe him a short intro. He's widely recognized, I think, in the space as the engineer for this whole digital asset treasury sector. He's invested in many of them. He has sort of worked with all the founders of DATs to evolve the business model. We started with MicroStrategy, moving from like this digital gold to this, other crypto, this active programmable treasury. He brought a lot of experience to HSDT. He was, frankly, my teacher when we were trying to put this thing together. And this is HSDT is the only DAT that Pantera obviously invested a lot, but this is the only company that Pantera sponsored with Cosmo driving it. It's an honor to have you with us today, Cosmo. I guess we should start with something. I think something interesting. I don't want to talk about academically what DAT does and everything else. I think most people know what it does, right? And I think the statement
no, I don't.
Sometimes you hear.
Yeah. I don't. Should we talk about what a DAT is?
So they bring in these interesting themes and then they don't touch on it. No?
Yeah. It's always as obscure as their titles, aren't they? They had all these fancy titles. That's how important they are, but it didn't really make any sense. And then it's the same here, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they just want to make you think that it's clear for everyone. But I think a lot of the people joining. So it's a corporate strategy of holding cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Solana on the company's balance sheet as a strategic reserve, distinct from traditional cash, offering inflation hedge, diversification, and yield opportunities.
So say that again. These digital asset treasury companies. So somebody forms an SPV, it raises funds, and it buys crypto. Yeah.
And it basically holds it on their balance sheet.
So, I mean, is that not just like a fund? I don't know why. I don't get why they call them like treasury companies.
I guess because the only thing they do is is really hold these assets.
Yeah, I never got it right. But I got the impression people were just trying to copy Michael Saylor, no? Because that's effectively what he was doing. Although he could call it a treasury company because he had an underlying business, isn't it? Whatever MicroStrategy actually does. Yeah. It's that it was building its own treasury of Bitcoin up, right? So I don't know if these treasury companies they have like some like underlying business that they say they do. But by the way, we're also buying Bitcoin. So if you can, give us a load of money. No, I don't really get it.
No, I think it basically the way I see it now with Solana is I guess they will then start staking as well their assets. So this you kind of get an income stream from that instead of just holding.
Is it not like a crypto investment fund though? Is that not like it's just a fund of people all investing together in something?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why so I don't know if that's the way it gets around the fund laws or something, but
maybe the difference would be that they're publicly traded. Maybe that would be the only
right. Okay. Yeah, that could be it, couldn't it? Yeah.
So
okay, so they raise money on the public markets to do it.
Yeah. So issue more shares to buy more tokens, and basically hope that your crypto that you're holding are worth more than your balance sheet.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. You're right. That's probably what it is, isn't it? Is they were selling it to the public, basically.
Yeah, exactly. They're getting public investors to buy more shares, and so that they can buy more crypto.
Okay.
Why they're just a treasury for everyone.
Yeah. Interesting.
And so I guess the question is, okay, why would you buy into this rather than buying the asset itself? Like why buy into MicroStrategy if you can buy Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, presumably, the value's more the sum of its parts, right? So, or it's just an easy way of doing it. But the basket of assets and the way it's staking it make the company very valuable on that stock exchange. But I mean, that's just unbelievably speculative, isn't it? And I'd have thought most of these are a bit of a scam, right? Like all the guys that set it up are like drawing huge salaries out of it, and nobody really cares if there's a crash and it all falls apart. It's just like, oh well, the investment thesis didn't work out, but they've all walked away with bonuses and salaries. I think that's probably what these things are, no?
It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, clearly there's this element. For sure they have to run teams, and then you have all the compliance that comes with running a public company.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, exactly. Like their overheads are going to be huge, and presumably if things crash or yields don't or something blows up, that they could really fall apart. No.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I mean, maybe because their investors are just public shareholders. They can do what they want. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see if he actually goes a bit more in details of what's the edge.
In dinners and gatherings, like, oh, DAT is dead, it's over, right? That doesn't work, it's money losing, we don't understand, it's not a valid business model, right? Well, I think maybe we start with Cosmo, right? Cosmo understand the business model, the logic behind it a lot more, right? And then I guess all of us here selected Solana to be the underlying crypto. Maybe I'll let Cosmo talk about how to look at DAT and should it evolve, for example, with this kind of market conditions, and what should DAT be doing during this period of time, right? Should we start with that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, and thanks everyone for taking the time here. When I think back to what a DAT is, when we first started kicking this off, I thought it's effectively there's a few analogies I like to make. One is that it's the investor relations arm of a token, right? The most important job of a DAT is they believe in maximizing shareholder value by maximizing accumulation of the underlying token. That means you also have to have the underlying token be worthy of value. And so being the IR function for the underlying token is extremely important. I think another analogy I like to make is that DATs are like financial services businesses, right? They are a pile of Solana, and then they go out and try to generate yield on it, either through financial engineering on the liability side of the balance sheet, or generating yield through DeFi or other options on the asset side of the balance sheet. And by doing so, you can someone who holds a DAT can own more Solanas per share over time than owning just Solana, and so that's very exciting.
So here is their theory that you buy it at a certain price, and then ultimately, because there's growth in the company, what you have paid is more valuable. So you own more share per Solana than if you would be buying it, basically.
I wasn't very convinced by his. I mean, the investor relation thing was nonsense, I'd say. Or, although I suppose maybe it could act as like an activist investor, couldn't it? If it's got like a big Solana holding, it might have a voice at on what Solana does and doesn't do. So I think maybe that's what he was trying to say. And then his second point, well, yeah, I suppose you don't need to worry about trying to, find the best way to stake your money in DeFi and all that, because these guys will do it for you. That had some resonance. So yeah, I guess I can see a little bit of the utility, but I still think it's a bit of a scam. No,
I mean,
he doesn't mention their costs to run all that. No,
I mean, that's the last thing you want to mention, no, especially to the kind of the public market. I think it's bringing, maybe again trying to bring traditional money into crypto, because ultimately how do you get funded is people buying stocks. So I guess companies' funds are more more enticed to buying stock rather than buying crypto still for now. So you can.
It's just a bit weird. Like why? Okay, why wouldn't you buy the Solana ETF? Okay, well they're not staking it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're almost a bit like a private bank, right? Aren't they? Because private banks will go, we've got all the fancy office and all these clever people, and we make better returns and all that. But then they don't tell you, oh yeah, but our fees are really high and our overheads are really high, and we all pay ourselves very expensive salaries, right? But for some people, it's more comforting to have a private bank, right, or prestigious. So they're almost like a bit of a private bank, I'd say. Some people might just feel, oh yeah, this is a high level team that's really managing this, and they're going to accrue much more value than just the underlying asset value over time.
Yeah.
But as we know, these things just suck up.
Yeah, and it's very speculative, unfortunately.
Very speculative, yeah.
It
might be that you make money just because the stock goes up for some unrelated underlying business reason, right? So I guess you've got that angle, but of course it can go down as well, can't it?
Oh, and we see it in those markets. So yeah, I think your analogy of a private bank makes more sense than just trying to call it the investor relationship of a token.
I don't know. I mean, that was weak. I don't think he'd thought that through.
It's all about optics. They're talking, at the crypto conference. So of course you want to bring the angle of, we're looking at the crypto and then we're adding something on it. But if you're looking at it from the TradFi world, it's like we're using just crypto to kind of manage it and make it grow for you. So this is why we're acting as a private bank. So I guess again, it's just about optics and what we're talking to. But fair point.
I mean, that guy is actually from Solana. So unless it's actually a sort of Solana sanctioned DAT, in which case his investor relation comment might make more sense, right? That they're like the arm of Solana that's been put out through more of a corporate structure into the public markets, and has a bit more. I guess there's like monthly reporting and institutional stuff going on as well, like a normal investor would expect.
Yeah,
and so maybe that's what he means by where the investor relations side is, that this is Solana done in a TradFi way through this thing.
I mean, it's called the Solana Company, but I don't know if it's really part of the Solana foundation.
Yeah.
Because it was another company that used to be called Helios something Medical even. So I guess they just got that company because it was already publicly traded. They
didn't even create a new company. They just took like a penny stock or something.
Exactly.
Oh God. Then you got potential liability of that company that went before as well. Then.
I mean, I have to share that. I mean, if you look at the investor relations, so we're now on this Solana Company, right? That if you look at the URL, it's still called heliosmedical.com because it's the name of the company. And then
that's staggering, isn't it?
I don't know if you can see the graph, Ross, because you're walking, but we went from about $400 a share to about $2 a share. So I don't know if there's been some splits or whatever that the graph wouldn't tell me about. Yeah, so Helios Medical Technology decided to become the Solana Company. Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very secure, does it?
Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, we won't do that now, but we can have a look at their annual reports and then really kind of understand better. That could be an exercise for me. So let's try to finish listening to Cosmo point of view, and then we could do
yeah, there are a few ways to execute against that. I think historically it started with MicroStrategy. Really, they only innovated on the liability side of the balance sheet. You know, they sold stock, they sold prefs, they sold converts in order to raise capital in a per share accretive way. But as you move on to something like Solana, you have the ability to really optimize the asset side of the balance sheet now. And so that's, you know, we started with staking. At HSDT, we have industry-leading staking yields, 6% plus, well above benchmarks. And so that's a value add that we offer, you know, to grow the Solana per share. Earlier, we launched a really innovative partnership with Camino and Anchorage, where we now have the first tri-party institutional custody version of interacting with DeFi. And so that'll help, you know, add a few points of yield as well. And then, you know, there are lots of other ways to look at it. You know, some people have decided that DATs are better as operating businesses, and they may go and buy operating businesses, kind of like a SPAC might go buy an operating business. Or, you know, they decide that perhaps the DAT should just continue to do DAT on DAT M&A. And so there are lots of ways to really innovate along that, and we're starting to see all that start to play out now that we're past the initial boom.
Maybe a quick follow-up. MicroStrategy announced that they're going to do this anti-quantum, you know, strategic initiative. What do you think of it?
Well, fortunately, Solana is an ecosystem that develops really fast, right? There are a lot of really innovative engineers here who care a lot. And so I have when I think about quantum, I have no concerns that Solana will be quantum proof or can develop there in a very short amount of time, because everyone's so aligned, because everyone cares so much about being on the bleeding edge of technology. That is different than Bitcoin, which is notoriously slow to change. You know, there are many people much smarter than me about you know, the quantum risk to Bitcoin. My understanding is that, you know, there's a serious choice that they'll have to make at the end of the day of either letting their coins be hacked or hacking the coins or seizing the coins themselves. And so there will be a reckoning moment likely for Bitcoin, call it 10, 15 years from now, unless they can innovate fast enough. And fortunately, Solana is well positioned to do that well before that.
Yeah. Well, James, your turn. So Sharps is led by Solana native founders, strong ties to the foundation. How do you leverage this knowledge, resources, the network you have?
So maybe to your point, Ross, this is where maybe this guy, James, will have a better point of view of, being clearly linked with the Solana Company foundation, my bad. So the company that he's referenced is called STSS. So this is Sharps Technology. So let's see if there's a better angle from them rather than just buying a medical company and turning it into a Solana.
To sort of help ecosystem, also help STSS.
For sure. We only have a few minutes left. It's the afternoon right after lunch, so I appreciate everyone staying awake. Let's take a step back, right? We're talking about Solana right now. If you're sitting in this seat listening to us here, you're a Solana bull, most likely. You're at Accelerate. We're here. We launched digital asset treasury around it. Let's take a step back and look at what's not attracting the market right now and what we are in the places. What attracted people to Solana? DGen gambling, another retail player. Now you have your prediction markets directly from Phantom. You can just go trade prediction market sports, easy. If you believe in different currencies, crypto has lagged behind gold and most of the commodities in the last few months. You're most likely buying those currencies. If you believe in technology, who doesn't have a Claude bot and looked at some sort of AI form or used AI today? right? You're probably investing in AI. So if all of these three sectors that what brought people to speculate on Solana's price are gone, in my opinion, as of right now, this is the best time to build because nothing has changed other than the price. There has never been more bullish statements coming out, more product updates. You look at the Jupiter team, you look at the Bonk team, you look at everyone that's been just nonstop shipping, but just price hasn't changed. And this is a function of us. And I say us, I mean, I think digital assets getting into a much larger asset class and addressable market in the world, and with much larger forces behind it. So as a Solana ecosystem founder, to answer the question, the way I leverage it is honestly just working with a lot of the projects and not working with them. Honestly, they're helping me, right? Like just mentioned Camino. I think their vaults are great, looping, getting a lot more yield than you can just generate, and you will get those earnings as a public company on your balance sheet. So super excited, honestly, even at this juncture.
Well,
So yeah, you're just basically helping the ecosystem help you by trading more Sol, maybe even like they were saying at the beginning, maybe doing some M&As in your own space. So you're basically with the assets you're accumulating, you're buying more companies that are building on Solana. So again, it's really helping the ecosystem thrive and grow basically. So that's really, from my understanding of this short presentation, what DAT can really do for Solana.
I think with that being said, all of us now in Hong Kong, right? And if you think about Solana in Asia, and then I guess both of us have Asian roots, what do you think the things that DAT should be doing in Asia together with Solana?
Great question. Let's look at Asia, right? I think Asia, let's split that into two, institutions and retail. I think as of today, institutions are actually building the plumbing for retail, for digital assets, right? You look at what's the hottest topic on everyone's mouth at the conference, stablecoins, right? In Europe, you have MiCA. In the US, you have Genius Clarity Act. Here in Hong Kong, you have stablecoin laws that passed last year in August as well. So it's just getting more compliant. Banks are adding it into their plumbing before I feel like you can have a full-on neobank experience of everyone be able to use. So I think here in Hong Kong, what most attracts investors is obviously a lot of public equities, US equities. You have brokerage firms such as Futu that Solana has partnered with and brought them here to provide more exposure and more Solana trading on their apps to a completely different crowd.
So I think what he's mentioning here is very valuable, and I think it's something we've been talking about a lot now. We just need more regulation, not because it makes it harder on projects to work, but really because it's helping the retail institution to adopt the token, to adopt the technology, and then just to grow overall. So I think he's completely right that this is the direction that we should be taking, and thanks God this is the direction that we are currently taking. So let's have a look if there's maybe a last bit. Well, actually, we've been talking about kind of investor relations. So let's see if this David Rodriguez from Blockworks Research can give us a little bit more of an introduction. So we were here for 20, so we're kind of looking at the 25 minutes later. So we're looking at kind of 6:40. Let's see. Let's see.
There's heavy emphasis on security and reliability. And I believe that because, as I think you've already mentioned, Solana is known for high throughput and low.
All right, next, let's welcome David from Blockworks. He's going to talk about Lightspeed, the Solana IR panel portal.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing well. 2 months ago at Breakpoint, in collaboration with the Solana Foundation, Blockworks announced Lightspeed, the industry's first investor relations platform built and designed for institutional Solana investors. Today, I will be reintroducing Lightspeed for those of you that missed that announcement. And I also have my own special announcement towards the end of my talk. So why does the industry need Lightspeed as a platform? We think it's important to provide some context on the evolution of the crypto industry. And my clicker will not work. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. Oh, it all happened at once. All right, so the evolution of the crypto industry. We like to bucket this into 3 distinct phases. One being the bootstrap era. This is hallmarked by the 2017 ICO.
Let's have a quick look before he comments on this. So we have 3 different phases: bootstrap, scaling, and an institutional. I mean, 100% agree. Solana, the beginning was really just, builders trying to work on kind of the governance, really, again, back to the ethos of Solana, no, building for the public. So that was the first bit. Then we started having DeFi, so really decentralized finance, trying to bring more, like he says, serious capital to enter, having a better custody, better exchange, so that more players can come in. And now we're clearly more into the institutional era, where we're having all of these big firms that are building on Solana, investing on Solana, and really Solana being the rails for the internal capital markets. So let's see if he agrees with me.
Boom. It was the Wild West of capital formation. As a founder, all you needed was a white paper and a dream to get funded. And as an investor, you largely sprayed and prayed in hoping that you didn't invest in vaporware. By and large, the asset class was uninvestable to institutions. A few years later, we call this the scaling phase, the industry started to mature a little bit. VC capital entered in mass. Critical financial infrastructure like exchanges and custodians started to professionalize, and DeFi offered its first glimpse of finding product market fit. This is a step in the right direction, but institutions were still not ready to invest in mass. The infrastructure wasn't ready, neither was the regulatory environment. But as we know, this is largely changing pretty rapidly. Crypto's on the cusp of its institutional era. Major enterprises are launching chains. Stablecoins are being issued by all of the major financial institutions out there. Major enterprises are launching chains. All the major financial institutions are thinking about launching stablecoins. Off-chain assets are being issued on-chain to the tune of tens of billions of dollars. And on-chain app revenue, in aggregate, is very meaningful, on the orders of billions of dollars annually. Because of this, the marginal token buyer is largely shifting into institutions. It's no longer retail. It's liquid token funds. It's multi-asset hedge funds. It's family offices, and so on and so forth. They're largely looking to gain exposure into high-quality network assets like Sol, and the on-chain business is built on top. Unfortunately, their adoption is still being hindered today because of fragmented information, incorrect data sets, and material that's largely built to be consumed by crypto natives and not by these institutions.
That is very true. I mean, if you jump on SolScan, for example, and try to understand what's going on, and I think Ross would agree with me that it's something we encounter with our clients, where whenever you're trying to understand, okay, what is happening with my money, what is happening with my client's money, on Solana, it is still a massive headache. And I think a lot of work is being done by the various developers in the Solana ecosystem into trying to improve the readability of all these data sets, just from a financial and just tech point of view. We need to improve in that phase. So let's see if Blockworks and their institutional relationship kind of platform is achieving that level of clarity that is needed for more players to jump on, and ultimately for as well institutional money to be able to easily calculate their returns, calculate their profit, and then just have a clear and easy way of understanding what's going on.
Lightspeed was built directly to bridge this gap. It offers a unified professional environment for rigorous due diligence and capital allocation decisions. Lightspeed pretty much offers anything that an institutional investor can need. It offers 1, high-fidelity on-chain data powered by Blockworks' proprietary data infrastructure. 2, institutional-grade research. And 3, a news and events aggregator so that capital allocators can stay on top of all major announcements.
So you're kind of building your Bloomberg terminal, but for Solana. So again, very smart. You're just giving the kind of the tools that traders and firms are used to, and then kind of translating the Solana ecosystem for them in some formats that they're happy to read and used to understand. So smart move.
And any events that they want to attend, like Solana Accelerate. Let's jump into our data coverage. So not only does Blockworks already have the most comprehensive coverage on Solana, the network, and Sol, the asset, and we will continue to iterate on that coverage, we also have a planned roadmap of over 45 different companies of significance building on the Solana ecosystem that we'll have full end-to-end coverage of. This includes multi-product apps like Jupiter and Camino. This includes the growing list of prop AMMs and traditional AMMs like BisonFi, Humidify, Radium. This also includes category-defining DePIN leaders like GeoNet and Helium, and much more. But it's not just important to have the data, it's also important to be able to contextualize that data so that investors can actually do something with it. To create IC-ready memos, to have coherent narratives that actually traditional investors can grok. This is where our written content comes into play. In addition to having monthly Solana notes dedicated to Sol, the asset, and Solana, the network, we're also going to have, again, institutional-grade research on the many companies of significance I already mentioned. Last but not least, we're also going to have quarterly token holder letters that mimic some of the investor relation material that a lot of these investors already are familiar with in TradFi world. And as a side note, last week, we published our latest quarterly token holder letter in partnership with Helium. I'm biased, I think it's a banger. But in addition to distributing that token holder letter to all the major Blockworks distribution channels, we also distributed that to over 350,000 Bloomberg terminals, not just to maximize awareness, but ultimately.
I mean, what did I just tell you before? Bloomberg, really? Very smart. I mean, this is how you get into the hands of the traditional, money. You want to be every day on their face. You want to show them, how the industry is evolving. And if they have access to this kind of feed of information, of course, there'll be more awareness, and of course, more people will be curious, and more people will just end up investing in. So, smart move, smart move.
To meet these investors where they're at. For investors, Lightspeed should be the information gateway for Solana. For builders in the building of the Solana ecosystem, we want this to be the central investor hub where you communicate to your token holder base. This industry is full of noise, but we're hoping that Lightspeed will be the signal. Now, with that being said, I'm happy to announce that next week, February 17th, US time, Lightspeed will go live. If you are a liquid token fund, institutional capital allocator, asset issuer, family office, you name it, I encourage you to apply at lightspeed.vip/get-access. Additionally, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at david.rodriguez@blockworks.co, and my Telegram is @for-capital. Thank you. Have a good day.
So that was the big announcement that Lightspeed is live. All right. Well, I think that was a very interesting Solana Smoke. Not as a crypto, let's put it, trendy as we usually get, but really seeing what usually the conferences are kind of a summary of what's been happening lately. So clearly in the APAC region, the kind of stablecoin institutionalization is really something that is very important for them, and I mean very important for the whole ecosystem. So it's great that this is the direction it's going, and I think this is where we'll simply close off Solana Smoke for today. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you up in the near future. All right, everyone. Talk soon. Bye bye.